Over IT takes a map-centric approach in everything we do. So that means when you're reacting to those storms, you can really have that single pane of glass to react to those outages in the quickest way possible and making things easier, safer, and more precise. So you're able to react a lot quicker, make your customers a lot happier since you're doing those restoration jobs in the quickest way possible. And you're able to stay very dynamic and very agile. So today we'll see how Amy, our scheduler, can go ahead and take a look at both the map and the schedule to react to those storms coming in real time, and how Over IT can empower her to dispatch those mutual aid crews, go ahead and relocate neighboring crews from other territories, and unschedule low priority work to bring in that high priority restoration job. So as we see here, Amy can start out her day on the map where she can visualize all those real-time GIS mapping layers. So that includes weather, it includes fire, it includes other electric and gas specific GIS layers that she can interact with. You see here that this pane can even be collapsed, so Amy can get even more real estate over here. So as you see here, she can zoom in and take a look at all of the work orders in a specific area. And she can then go ahead and say, hey, I want to go ahead and highlight these specific orders. That automatically goes ahead and puts on her right side over here where she can go ahead and sort this by priority. So why does that matter? Well, as those orders come in from your outage management system, from Maximo, they may have an initial priority, but as that due date gets closer, as that emergency hits, then that dynamic priority spikes up. And that means that Amy can see the highest priority, most urgent orders up top here. And she can take ownership. So that means that if these are low priority orders, she can go ahead and mass unschedule them or mass lock them. And that removes it from all the resources schedules. So then she can go ahead and make room and empty up the calendars in order for that high priority restoration jobs to be scheduled. So very powerful here. From the map, she can do a lot of different actions. She can go ahead and take a look at all the high priority orders now, and then see where those are on the map and start to take some ownership about scheduling those orders as well. So we were just able to see how Amy is able to take that map-centric approach to react to those storms in the quickest way possible. Now, what we see here is when Amy is planning ahead and she needs to go ahead and unschedule that work, she can first do things in a sandbox environment in order to take a look at those scheduling metrics. So this is a big differentiator of Over IT, where you can run those scheduling models and take a look at what that daily summary, what the utilization is going to be, what the total activity and drive time will be. And if you're happy with those metrics, you can then go ahead and confirm that, and it will go ahead and open up the schedule and confirm that schedule. So now in a planning scenario, think about the week before, you're scheduling all the work, everything looks good, and then you're happy with the results. So you can push that to the schedule and dispatch it out to your technicians, who will then see the work. So now everything is completed. We can even see all the emergencies not yet assigned. If we go to the actual schedule for that specific day, and you'll see that we'll refresh the schedule here, everything appears here now. And the big thing that's calling our attention is that there's 98 unassigned activities that have an emergency. So let's go ahead and collapse that pane now to take a look at what is actually happening here. So the current schedule has low priority work that's scheduled, because if we see here, the key will tell us that all this is low priority work, the green, and the yellow is medium. So that means that these are the regular inspection jobs that can be unscheduled. So what you'll see here is, if we go ahead and open up those orders that need to be scheduled, So you see now all these orders, if I select all of them, we see that there's about 71 of them. So what I can do is use the system to go ahead and insert those into the schedule. So I can go ahead and process this storm model that will go ahead and unschedule the low priority work and schedule that high priority work in the best way possible. So if I go back to my daily plan, then this is still going on in the background and it's figuring out which resources have the right skill, where are they located from a mapping perspective. We can even take a look at from the map, everything embedded, all those layers embedded in here. So all the schedulable activities, where those are. And if we go ahead and refresh over here, now we see that all of those have been inserted into the schedule. Those colors are different because all those are high priority orders, and we see where those are located. And if I go ahead and refresh this, you see that this number goes down. So we went from 71 down to 34. So the next logical thing that I can do is go ahead and create a storm calendar. So this means that instead of the regular 8 to 5 calendar, now it's an all hands on deck. And think about it, you're relocating folks, you're having people work 12 to 18 hours in order to really get that restoration job complete as soon as possible. So what I can do is go ahead and update the storm shift. This has already been pre-configured for me. And we'll go ahead and update one of our resources and duplicate that across multiple resources. And if we go back to the calendar here, you see that automatically those calendars have been updated. We have additional white space, we have additional utilization. If we go back to our utilization view here, this will give us a updated overall utilization view. And then what we can do is go ahead and load those up again. And now we'll do things a little differently. In a semi-automatic way, we'll assign all these orders and we'll use the storm emergency model. So this is using slightly different rules and objectives. Again, this is using different priorities that are emphasizing getting the work done as soon as possible. We're putting less emphasis on travel. So even if that means additional travel, additional overtime, we're going to do as much as possible to insert those orders into the schedules and get those restoration jobs done as quick as possible. Now, this is a big differentiator of over IT, and something we certainly encourage you to look at with competitive solutions is the reprioritization of that work and being able to do this in real time and getting that visibility from a mapping perspective, from a scheduling perspective as well. Very powerful. And then not only that, now you're able to see a preview of where all those orders went to which resources. So it's not a black box. I can get additional trust in the system. And then we can even open this detail up to get additional details here. So we still have a few work orders that need to get completed. And the next logical step for me, after I've lengthened my calendars, I've created additional availability, now let's take a look at which internal resources we can go ahead and relocate. So as you remember, that map-centric approach. So over IT can help from a territory optimization perspective, and you may have different zones that you schedule resources to. You can see where those resources are located in real time, and also you can see which territory they belong to. So from here, I can get a sense of who may be a good fit to relocate. And then we can just go ahead and generate that resource loan. So you see, I can go ahead and pick the source, the destination, and the start date and times. And then I just very simply, with the click of a button, generated that loan. And if we go ahead and refresh over here, not only do we see these contractors, which we'll talk about in just a minute, but we also see green Andrew here. And if we go to the work calendars, we can verify that, yes, he is being relocated from one area to the next. So you see that icon right there denotes it very easily. He also has a dark green bar above his line and the others do not. So we know that green is a loaned resource. So if we go ahead and update over here the list of orders, we can then go ahead and assign some of these manually to green. So if I just go ahead and drag and drop this to green's calendar, we'll go ahead and take care of those outage restoration jobs by relocating a resource. Now, another way to do this is by scheduling to those contractors. So remember, there's a few different flavors of contractors. It could be a contractor company, and this is what we have represented here, where contractor A has gone ahead and defined that they can do 5 restoration jobs for that specific day. And once we schedule the orders to contractor A, they can log in with a very similar user interface to then go ahead and schedule to one of their technicians. Everything is integrated. They have access to Over IT mobile solution. All those status updates are synced back up. Or you can even schedule to individual contractors that you go ahead and provide the machines with to go ahead and log into. So multiple different ways to go ahead and schedule to mutual aid. The good news is Over IT has over 20 years of experience working with multi-utilities to initiate these types of storm scenarios and mutual aid scheduling scenarios. So what we just saw there was the ability for Amy to significantly reduce that storm response time by gaining that map-centric approach with a single pane of glass to take a look at all her crew and tech visibility, whether that's internal or external mutual aid crews. And what this does at the end of the day is really increases the productivity and utilization levels in order to get those outage jobs completed quicker, in order to get those customers up and running quicker, and in order to improve overall satisfaction levels. So thank you very much. This is the Over IT storm scenario demo. Again, Over IT is a leader in field service utility solutions globally. And thank you for watching. We look forward to doing business with you.